Hey everyone, Reverend Geek here. Here is my review of Doctor Who, um, Kill the Moon. We're going to be changing things up this week, I think. I'll explain that at the end of this video. But Kill the Moon, it's the halfway point for Doctor Who at this point in history in this season. And he's I think we're really getting to understand this Doctor. I'm liking him. He's a lot more alien than he is. Um, but, this episode was really good. We got to see, it begins with them on the space station. Well, it begins with really the question being proposed of what to do with the moon. And then we go in and we see that the Doctor takes both Clara and Courtney with him after Clara gets on his case about calling Courtney, you know, not not valuable or not important. And this is a reverse of what the 11th Doctor said with a lot of people at the time, was that everyone was important. So what we get is the Doctor taking Courtney and Clara with him on a mission. They end up on the moon. Actually, they end up in the space shuttle, which is interesting in and of itself. So anyway, what we're getting is the Doctor is there, and there's the whole mystery about what's going on with the moon. We get things like second-hand shuttle and third-hand astronauts, which is a nod at the fact that America has gotten rid of its space program, which still boggles the mind. But anyway, the Doctor basically leaves Clara and Courtney. Some mysteries are brought in about this. We get some nice callbacks to the third Doctor, which, of course, Capaldi's Doctor is being compared to. And in the end, we see that the Doctor's decisions in this episode has forced Clara to basically end the relationship, end the friendship between the two of them at this point. Even though Danny comes in, and Danny, I think, another callback to the fact that both the Doctor and him are soldiers, Danny tells her to cool down and think about it, which, of course, next week we're going to have a companionless episode, which is something that we've had since the Tennant era of Doctor Who, where we've had episodes that don't feature the companion, or actually there were a few episodes that didn't even feature the Doctor, it was just the companion. So basically, what were my takeaways from this episode, and what are the big three? Well, let's see. We get to revisit the spiders, even though these were bacteria in the shape of spider-like creatures. It was a nice callback to the third Doctor and why the third Doctor ended up regenerating. And the 10th Doctor, too, with the Arachnos. And, it just kind of leaves that even if you hate spiders, that they're always going to be a part of Doctor Who. It adds to the creepiness, especially for my wife who hates spiders, but was able to get through this episode. Again, the space program, the fact that the U.S.'s departure from the space program makes previous episodes in which the U.S. space program was mentioned kind of weird, and that, I think, is one of those small side social arguments or side social comments that Moffat's bringing in. It's like, how can you do science fiction? How can you keep on having science fiction if your own country is not pursuing space instead of basically hitching rides with other countries that may not even have the money to do this, and now we've kind of gone um, mercenary, if you will. You know, we've got independent people doing space program, but you know, it's not like having a government-funded program and professionally trained astronauts. And I think that's kind of what Moffat was getting at. Um, Another one is Courtney is now a companion. Um, you know, we got her last week with the Doctor in the TARDIS, and she's throwing up, and we kind of bring that back in to this episode. But um, yeah, she's officially now a companion. She joins the ranks of Adam and Grace. You know, Adam was the Ninth Doctor's companion for 1.5 episodes, I'll say. I know he was introduced in one, and then he um, was in a he was in the next episode as an official companion. And then Grace, of course, was the Eighth Doctor's companion for the TV movie. So that you know, she's in there at least right now as a one-time companion. You know, and of course the 10th Doctor had Wilf and many during the specials that you know, give him quite a list of companions. So for now, we can say that Clara and Courtney are officially the 12th Doctor's companions. Um, and then I think the fact that the moon was this egg for this rare space creature, that's another takeaway, because it's kind of like Moffat was looking people with the duh look in the face, because so many people have said, well, he's forgetting continuity and everything. And there was a lot of callback to the Doctor and Clara, where they've revisited the Earth beyond the time period that they were in. And basically, you know, the moon's been there. So Clara was like, hey, what's going on? The moon's always been here. The moon's been here 100 years, 200, 300, 500 years from this point because I've been there. So that was like a very good callback, and how it was solved. I mean, this might not be the best episode. Um, you know, it was definitely enjoyable, but you know, it's one of those episodes that I think you know, Moffat knows what he's doing, and you know, he's created some of the best episodes in Doctor Who history, and I think that's what people forget, and people think that he's always going to hit a home run out of the ballpark, and this was not a home run, but it was a nice little callback, if you will. Um, and you know, I'm gonna throw in just the fact that the Doctor's not using the Sonic as much. I don't know if anybody's realized this. He's kind of going back to sort of a Fifth Doctor mentality of not using the Sonic as much. And you got to remember, people are comparing him to other Doctors, and I've been thinking in my mind more of the Sixth Doctor, who was not well received by the public, and I think who's got some characteristic similarities to the 12th Doctor, which is kind of weird because half of 12 is 6. But it's just kind of an interesting callback to the Doctor, that he just, you know, he used the yo-yo, I think, more than the Sonic in this episode. So it's kind of an interesting little add-on to the takeaways. My big three is going to be Danny Pink's Bad Day. We see that at the end of the episode where he's consoling Clara about her decision, and he mentions something about having a bad day, and we don't know what it is, but of course I think it's going to come out in the season finale. The season finale appears to be a two-parter at this point, so we're going to have to go from there and see what happens. Um, My second big three is Clara growing up. We've seen her, she's been that unique character, and she's become one of the most beloved companions of the Doctor in the history, the 50 odd year history of the show. And so it was interesting to see her grow up, but still be torn, even though she seems to have been in love with the 11th Doctor. She does care for the 12th Doctor, and she's listening to the 11th Doctor's thing of, you know, be there for me, and so I think that's what brought her torn. And so Danny's words of, take a rest and then go back and revisit your thought pattern here. I think that's going to play out because, like I said, next episode is a companionless episode, and then she's going to be back. Um, and then the other big three, my final big three. Tell me what you think of this. It was thought of during the return of the series, and once we found out that the Time Lords were no longer um, in history, that the regenerations for the Doctor might be unlimitless, because the laws and all those things that establish them would be gone. And then, as we discovered during the 50th anniversary, that the Doctor was at his limit, that there was the hidden regeneration, and that we did have, uh, you know, Doctor 10.2 or Doctor 10.5, whatever you want to call him. But it's just kind of interesting that Capaldi establishes this thing that these regenerations might be unlimited. We know if you go back and you watch the episode with Smith as he gets the regeneration dust or whatever in his mouth, he knows what it is, but there's a look on him, and it kind of makes you wonder: does he know that this is unlimited regenerations? I think like some people thought that this might be the only regeneration that he was given, an extra regeneration, but he does say a whole new cycle. But then here he's saying he has unlimited um, regenerations. So we have to wonder. Um, and I'd like the idea that he'd have unlimited, because then we can not have the Time Lords for a while, and the Time Lords would probably do something like that to just allow it for him to be able to find them eventually. So, tell me what you think about that. So here's what I'm going to be doing. Well, let me first tell you, yeah, not the best episode. It was an enjoyable episode, but I'm going to give this episode a 7.5. I think it was good. It was not the greatest. It's not one that is going to go down as an instant classic, but um, it's definitely an enjoyable ride, and kind of keeps moving forward the subplot of the season. Um, so that's my review. Now, to tell you what's going to go on this week, I'm going to start doing long form videos for Marvel, for DC, and for Star Wars. Um, I'm going to combine for the DC show, as I think I'm going to call it. It's going to be, at this point, Gotham, Flash, and Arrow. I'll add Constantine probably as a separate one, just because it's too far off into the week. And then I'm going to do a Marvel show, even though there's really only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then a Star Wars show. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about on the Star Wars show, and then I'm still going to do Sleepy Hollow. It's still a popular video to do here, but right now, given for time constraints, I'm gonna start doing these long form shows to kind of bring everything together, and it'll actually allow me to even bring in some of the thoughts and fan theories and actually rumors going around on line and what's being passed around on the entertainment sites about the show, including some that came out today about CW looking at the ratings of Flash and Arrow being its most watched show right now, that they're already considering adding a third DC show to their lineup. So, you know, that's what we're going to get to have, I think, with long form videos. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. But anyway, that's it. Reverend Geek out, and I'll see you later on this week as I start to upload more videos.